Hello guys, and welcome back to this channel. So I'm now going to get out of my trades on BTC USD. I've told you guys countless times BTC USD is what quite good on what Sundays. It's Sundays that I traded because Sundays is the best days for me. When I've been trading BTC USD, Sundays are the what best days. Now let me go ahead and get out of the trade because you can see that for the last several candles, you can see rejections right here, followed by this. Now, these rejections might just be testing this zone before it will actually push all the way up, because that looks like a bullish flag right there. Yes, but I don't really want to be in this. I've already taken my first TP at 18k, which was around this zone right here. That was very, very nice, right? So yes, BTC has delivered quite amazingly. And this past week has been one of the best weeks. The main reason is just been that I've been swing trading and I've not really been scalping that much, as you can see. Even though I've been scalping, but swing trading was just quite amazing. You can see that last week's 714 method, I still left it. That was on Wednesday. I still left one of the trades, and this is its target right here. Another trade that I got was this. I left one single trade. I always enter into trades. I left one single trade, and that is its final TP right there. This trade too that I got, the same thing, that is its final TP right there. Today's trade, the same thing, that will be its final TP. No, that wouldn't be its final TP, but I want to see whether we'll have a rejection right here, right? So obviously, by the looks of this trade, you realize that something is quite amazing about this. Look at my stop losses and look at the move I'm trying to catch. These are wonderful moves with very tiny what stop losses. That's because I'm executing these trades on 1 minute time frames. I always try my best to understand the move, understand where price is going, go all the way down to a 1 minute time frame and execute a bigger loss size. So even if I'm going to lose a trade, it's going to be a very small trade. It's not going to be a very big trade, but the win is going to be massive. Now, why was I so confident that gold is pushing all the way up? By the looks of it, you can already see the bullish flag, right? And price just break through that bullish flag. So what are we doing? We are continuing that upward movement. Very, very nice. So let's go ahead and close the trade on what BTC USD. I think this is all right. I don't really have to waste my time again. I'll probably get another trade on Sunday. Yes, I always trade it on Sundays, and it's very, very good. We can continue to shoot all the way up, but I'm done. So let's look at it. What actually happened? How did I get into this trade on BTC USD, right? So let's dive in. All right, so when I came into the market on BTC USD, this was obviously what I was looking at. The price had already taken out this high right here. So this was just what I was looking at, right? And by looking at this, how do I actually execute my trades based on this? Because just looking at the trade alone, you see that, yes, this is an uptrend, but how do you execute your trade? So first of all, when I come into the market, the first thing I do is what? Retrace the trend. Retracing the trend is very, very simple. Just looking at the last change of character and how many BOS have we gotten so far. So retracing the trend, that is step one. When you look closely, you realize that this right here was our change of character, and price even came back to do what? To retest that zone. You can see it. Which trend took that change of character, or which trend made that change of character happen? This trend right here. So that becomes our last look. So from here, from this all the way up to this zone, that's when we change character, and that becomes our last low, right? So last low right here, previous high gotten taken right here. So you could have executed your trade even based on the what, a breaker block, right? But that's just by the way. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is how many BOS have we gotten so far? So this right here is the first BOS. You can see it just right there. Price hasn't really given us another BOS right there above there. Price hasn't really given us, right? So we have to concentrate on seeing whether price will give us that BOS or not. Yes. Now the second thing is to look forward for what? Trend lines. Look at the market and see, do we have any trend lines? First of all, the first trend line that you already see is this, but it's already far from the what? The trend itself. You can see that the trend has already pushed above it. We've already retested the change of character, so there's no need for this trend line. You don't really have to be looking forward to picking a buy, right? You don't really have to look forward to picking a buy, probably from this trend line right here. Price has already moved past it. What is the next trend line? Now, I always look at uptrends with trend lines, because when a price is moving all the way up, it always has a region, it always has a section or a zone that it keeps hitting, right? Now, usually you don't really use one line like this. You have to use something that looks like this so that it will actually cover all the wicks, right? So this is what you do. Just do something that looks like this. So it will cover all the wicks inside that zone. But sometimes it becomes bulky, so you just leave it. Now, that is our trend lines, right? Very, very simple. We are done with that analysis as well. The next thing you need to do is there any support and resistance? Has price been hitting any zone lately? You obviously realize that this right here was our last high, but price did what? Take it. So we do not have any resistance as the what? At the last high. But we can surely see that we are having a support zone right here, because we can see a lot of wicks coming all the way back into that zone. You can push it all the way down to this level, but I always just use a very tiny spot because you can already see the wicks right here. So to me, that zone right there, just around this range from here all the way down to this level, becomes a what? A very nice support zone, because I can see price hitting this a couple of times with sellers not being able to push through it all the way down, right? So yes, this right here becomes another good zone for me to execute a trade. But so far so good. The most important part should be if price takes out this last high right here, and at the same time, if price maybe comes all the way back to this trend line right here, and I get, let's say, a bullish engulfing candle or a hammer, when price get back to this and I get those things, I'm buying all the way up. Do you understand that? So these are just the two concepts. But this whole thing that we've done so far is just to tell us that yes, the price will continue to push all the way up, so that we'll be much more confident in our trades, right? So this was what I was just looking at, but you can obviously see what happened. Just look at it. Price push all the way up, created that what BOS, but at the same time dropped massively. So we had a what? A double top above this zone right here. When you look closely, we had a what? A double top above this zone right here. And at the same time, price came back to this support zone, pushing all the way up again. And it also tested my what? My trend line. Now, I wasn't really going to trade based on price testing this trend line, because it could have equally just pushed all the way through. I have to see what a rejection. You can see the hammer creating just right there. You can see the amount of push buyers brought into the market. You can see the price action within this zone right here. That right there also becomes a what? A double bottom. Indirectly, this is telling you that price has just consolidated just above this zone right here. But with the consolidation happening around this zone, you can see that buyers are much more interested in the trade as compared to sellers, because you can see for sure that when sellers push price all the way down to this zone, buyers immediately reacted and pushed them all the way up. So this right here was quite enough for me. That right there was enough, totally enough for me to execute my trade, right? So all I had to do is go all the way down to a 1 minute time frame. Now, going all the way down to a 1 minute time frame will just make this look quite a little bit bulky. But yes, that is just what I did. You always know I'll go all the way down to the 1 minute time frame, right? So when I executed my trade, now it was quite a very big trade, because I had to do what? Go down to a 1 minute time frame. When you go down to a 1 minute time frame, you execute massive trades with smaller losses, right? You can execute a very huge trade, but the loss is going to be very small. So yes, I bought around this range right here. By the looks of it, where do you think my stop loss should be? You can obviously see that this right here becomes our last low, because it started this whole trend right there. So right there becomes my what? My stop loss, just below this range right here. It becomes my stop loss, and I'll actually be targeting a lot of what? Highs. Now, I wasn't really looking forward for price even getting through this zone right here. I wasn't really looking forward for that. I actually wanted price to be at 18K, and I'll get out of the trade. But by the looks of it, you realize that we obviously reach even this highs right here, right? So yes, that was just it. It wasn't really a big deal. All you needed to do was just a little bit of trend tracement, trend line analysis, and that is just it. You are good to go. I think this was the um full trade. This was the full trade, right? Price did push through this, but I just got out of the trade because it was quite not really something I should be in again. You can see price did push through it, right? Price did push through it. But yes, I was done and I'm good to go. Now, mind you, I executed about 3 trades. So yes, this was quite profitable. This was very, very profitable. I've already reached my my weekly limit, right? I've reached my weekly limit. And by just talking right now, I can also see that maybe on gold, I've just gotten stopped out of my my first trade today. That would be around somewhere $100. So that's not really a problem, right? It's not really a problem so far as I'm stopped out in profits. What did I tell you? So yes, I just got stopped out in profits. Now this past weeks, yes, this have been what marvelous. This have been marvelous because I've been leaving these trades. I've been living this what swing trades, and it has been marvelous so far. So my first trade of the week, I've just gotten stopped out, but it was at what $100, right, in profit. So yes, that is currently good. And at the same time, I can see that we are having double what movement around this zone. That's right there is a double rejection. I'll probably have to get out of either this or that, or maybe just get out of all because I think yes, it has been very very good already. It has been very very good, and I don't usually leave my trades to be retracing around my my final TPs. But that was just set. That was just set on what BTC USD, a very marvelous trade. You could have also been in this trade, right? Sometimes you just have to look at different pairs. You just have to understand what is going on. There's always a pair that you can trade. Trust me, there's always a pair that will give you a very simple trade just like this. You are not just looking. So you better start looking. Look on different pairs. You can go to NASDAQ, you can go to US 30, you can go to German 200 or German 500 or something like that. I've forgotten. Last week I made about 17K on that. I've forgotten. I just went to it and I saw that the daily candle was just about to start shooting all the way up because it was in a very nice uptrend. So I just tag in and price shoot all the way up. It was marvelous. Meanwhile, I did not even make any analysis on that trade. Nothing. And it was very, very profitable, right? So just try your best and be looking at those things. But let's see what gold will bring out today. I have to go to a smaller time frame to analyze this fair value gap and see will we have a rejection from it or not, because that right there is a fair value gap that also broke through a fair value gap. So that is a massive liquidity zone. Price can come back to it before we shoot to this height right here, or price might just shoot through. Now when price breaks below this zone right here, I wouldn't really be interested in buying yet. I'll be rather interested in getting out of all this trade and see whether price will retest the bullish flag. If we come all the way back down for a retest, then I'll be looking for a continuous buy again. But yes, that is just it for the day. Let's see what happens next.